TRST.TO Podcasts.
Good afternoon and welcome to another InvestorIdeas.com podcast following cannabis news, stocks to watch, as well as insights from thought leaders and experts. This podcast is sponsored by CLS Holdings US Incorporated, trading on the OTCQB as CLSH. Cannabis Life Sciences, a diversified cannabis company operating as Cannabis Life Sciences, and an integrated cannabis producer and retailer in Nevada through its Oasis Cannabis subsidiaries, will be showcasing at BE.C this week in Las Vegas from November 14th to 16th. InvestorIdeas.com is at BE.C this week as well at Podcasts Row, interviewing industry leaders and experts this Wednesday to Friday. Today we will be looking at announcements from CannTrust Holdings Incorporated, trading on the TSX as TRST, Inner Spirit Holdings Limited, trading on the CSE as ISH, The Green Organic Dutchman Holdings Limited, trading on the TSX as TGOD, and the US.C as TGOD.TO, and Believe Incorporated, trading on the CSE as BE and the OTCQX as BLEVF. First, looking at CannTrust Holdings Incorporated, a licensed producer of medical and recreational cannabis under the Cannabis Act and its regulations, announced financial and operational results for the 3 and 9 months ending September 30th in 2018. Some of the highlights included record revenues of $12.6 million in Canadian in the third quarter of 2018, which is a 105% increase from the comparable prior year period. Operations for the quarter resulted in positive EBITDA and positive net income. Active patients increased to more than 50,000, which is a 61% increase for the comparable prior year period, and the company also entered into supply agreements with 9 Canadian provinces to supply recreational cannabis across Canada. Other highlights were also the launch of its 4th recreational brand, Peak Leaf, as well as making its first shipment of cannabis oil to Denmark, the only cannabis oil accepted in Denmark, partnering with Australia's Gold Coast University Hospital on a 6-month study designed to evaluate the efficacy of CannTrust CBD capsules in slowing the progression of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or ALS, progression. And it partnered with McMaster University on medicinal cannabis research for chronic pain for designing more effective, safer treatment protocols and public health policies. The company is also taking steps to list its common shares on the New York Stock Exchange. Any such listing remains subject to the approval of the New York Stock Exchange and the satisfaction of all applicable listing and regulatory requirements. TRST.TO at CannTrust has firmly established itself as one of the top licensed producers in Canada with a global platform rooted in science and innovation. A U.S. listing is a natural step forward in our evolution as we look to broaden our investor base and expand our business in an international scale. Looking next at Inner Spirit Holdings Limited, who continues to establish a chain of recreational cannabis dispensaries under its Spirit Leaf brand. The company recently opened its first 2 Spirit Leaf franchise stores in Brooks and St. Albert, Alberta, and had additional franchise store openings in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan on November 17th and Lethbridge, Alberta on November 19th. We have exciting and aggressive plans to open Spirit Leaf franchises and corporate stores throughout the company. The opening of our first locations in Alberta is a very important milestone for Inner Spirit and Spirit Leaf brand, said Darren Bonder, President and CEO of Inner Spirit. We're executing our own vision and bringing the iconic Spirit Leaf experience to new customers. Our extension of the Spirit Leaf brand into Saskatchewan will be another key achievement in our expansion strategy. We have our sights firmly set on a national brand experience with the Spirit Leaf franchise and corporate stores offerings. In Alberta, the company's 23 other municipally approved locations are in various stages of construction and subject to receipt of final license approvals from the applicable municipalities and the Alberta Gaming and Liquor Commission. It has also had conditional secured an additional 17 locations. Inner Spirit expects to open corporate stores in Calgary, Edmonton, and Jasper, Alberta, along with 14 franchise locations across the province before the end of 2018. Moving next to the Green Organic Dutchman Holdings Limited, who announced a supply partnership with Velvet Management Incorporated for sales and distribution to provincial liquor and cannabis boards across Canada. Velvet is a new company with distinct ownership created by the largest wine distributor in Canada, Philip Danderand Wines. TGOD is committed to the best-in-class distribution for its premium certified organic cannabis. Sales and relationships with the provincial cannabis and liquor boards is a critical aspect to TGOD's success. Through the partnership with Velvet, TGOD has secured a strong entry point with every provincial liquor and cannabis board across Canada. Danderand has had a successful Canadian enterprise since 1968, specializing in importing wines from various countries around the world. Danderand is the largest wine import/agent in Canada, managing more than $625 million of retail sales across 1,600 stores and 4 million cases in annual volume. With over 115 employees and offices in Montreal, Toronto, Calgary, and Vancouver, Dandaran has the largest wine sales force in the country. Leading up to Canada's adult use market, Dandaran established Velvet Management Incorporated to focus on the sales and marketing of cannabis brands. TGOD is the first cannabis partner and will be exclusive in the certified organic segment. TGOD as a brand owner will maintain responsibility for brand marketing. TGOD's cannabis is a premium offering, the best experience a consumer can receive, said Saba Reeder, president of TGOD. When we began the search for a distribution partner, we wanted the best, a partner with significant distribution capabilities and years of excellence in selling premium alcohol and wine. In Velvet Management, we have found that partner. Finally, looking at Believe Incorporated, who announced that it's developed a water-soluble cannabis-infused powder and sugar products to prepare for the adult recreational cannabis-infused food and beverage market next year. Believe's Hamilton laboratory is being expanded to make room for methods to formulate cannabis extracts into soluble, flavorless, powderless, sugar crystals, and syrups for use in beverages and food products, using stability-enhancing techniques for prolonged shelf life. The final product offered to consumers will be a flexible, food-grade ingredient that delivers an accurate dose of THC and CBD when ingested orally and with enhanced bioavailability. Spearheading these efforts is the company's recently appointed VP in Science Technology, Dr. Peter Chen, who is a postdoctoral fellow at the University of Waterloo School of Pharmacy. Product development and optimization protocols will be done alongside long-term Believe collaborator Dr. Michael Rogers, Associate Professor in the Department of Food and Sciences at the University of Guelph. Our goal is to formulate cannabinoid products that will be improved bioavailability and versatility so they can be infused into various food products and beverages, said Dr. Chen. We are extremely excited for all our potential uses and products that will come to market because of our research. This podcast is in partnership with featured sponsor CLS Holdings US Incorporated, trading on the OTCQB as CLSH. More info and details can be found at our disclaimer and disclosure page at InvestorIdeas.com. That's all for today's podcast. Podcast is now a certified word trademark on the blockchain through Cognate Incorporated CM certification. InvestorIdeas.com podcasts are also available on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and TuneIn. If you'd like to be a guest or sponsor of this podcast, please contact InvestorIdeas.com. Investor Ideas reminds all listeners to read our disclaimers and disclosures on the InvestorIdeas.com website, and this podcast is not an endorsement to buy products or services or securities. Investors are reminded that all investments involve risk and possible loss of investment. Investor Ideas does not condone the use of cannabis except where permissible by law. Our site does not possess, distribute, or sell cannabis products.